Hello, everyone. Coming up here on the Pro Wrestling Show. Coming up, John Moxley will defend the World Championship against Samoa Joe next week. But that's the title we're going to talk about. But Samoa Joe will be in action. He'll be in action against Moxley's disciple. He'll be in action against Claudio Cesaro coming up. Also, too, a huge fatal four-way women's world championship eliminator as Toni Storm defends her women's championship in a fatal four-way. She defends it against Penelope Ford, Thunder Rosa, and I forgot this other chick name. The time of Toni Storm, Anna Jay. I meant to say Anna Jay. Well, we'll see that match coming up. And Toni Storm outlast winning her championship. We'll talk about that. Also, too, we talk about this. Cesaro Okada goes one-on-one against Kevin Knight. Kevin Knight, one of the newest high-flying stars in AEW. He takes on Okada. Also coming up, we'll also hear from Will Ospreay. Will Ospreay getting one advance into the Owen Finals. Closer than you think on the Owen Finals. Speaking of Owen Finals, Jamie Hayter sits down with Renee Paquette about the women's Owen Finals. She'll meet Mercedes Moné coming up. But we kick Dynamite off with Heyman Adam Page. Heyman Adam Page got a lot to say, what he's going to be saying on his mind. And also, too, that huge six-man tag team match between the Young Bucks, the EPs, and Ricochet against Swerve, Mark Briscoe, and Speedball Mike Bailey. We get the Pro Wrestling Show started, and plus on Wrestling Hot Topics. It's singer Sabrina Carpenter. She appeared in the Met Gala, and she dressed like nothing. Everybody's going nuts about it. We'll talk about it coming up, as well as the Velveteen Dream. He's making his way to back to WWE, but he wants a grassroots organization. We'll talk about it coming up. You get the AEW Dynamite Ring Report start right here, right now. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this live edition of the Pro Wrestling Show. I'm your host, as always, Kitty Dix here. Now, you can join us on the Pro Wrestling Show. Join in the conversation using the hashtag Pro Wrestling right here on the Connect TV and our streaming platform. This is the AEW Dynamite Ring Report. Thank you all for watching. Let's get down to the nitty gritty. Let's get down to this. Heyman Page had a lot to say. He wanted to be vocal tonight, and Heyman really did come out there tonight, and we're going to show what Heyman did. Heyman Page coming out there with a lot of pyro and stuff. Heyman Page getting himself together. Heyman Page will be taking on Will Ospreay. These two will meet in the Owen Finals to determine who's next in line for a shot at the AEW World Championship at All In. Will Ospreay came out there to confront Will Ospreay, Heyman Page. You know, these two will meet, and these two will meet down the road, and however that's going to go down next week. Heyman Page and Will Ospreay really at each other's throats. But Don Callis and his family came out there to confront Page and Ospreay. Don Callis issued a challenge that he wants them two in a match. Well, Takeshita and I forgot the other dude's name. Not the other dude's name, but he's gonna be in the match too. So we know that next week, Takeshita and Josh Alexander, they're gonna be taking on Heyman Adam Page and Will Ospreay, the men that will be fighting next week in Beach Break in Chicago. Chicago ain't known for beaches, but they got that Lake Michigan out there. Well, I guess that's considered a beach. They're gonna fight next week in a huge tag team match on Beach Break. But can they coexist as a unit and put their differences aside for only one night next week before they head to their epic match in the Owen Classic? We'll see that match coming up next week. Well, FTR still gets in the face of Tony Schiavone. FTR playing, politics with Tony. They were trying to almost attack Tony Schiavone. It came on the A to Tony Schiavone. FTR saying that the reason they did to Dan Garcia what they did because they wanted to get their hands on Tony Schiavone. Why? Why even Tony Schiavone even put himself through that is my question. Tony Schiavone even put himself through it. But it's just Tony Schiavone for you, a living legend. Um, Tony Schiavone getting himself together. We'll see. For so you can see how you feel with Tony Schiavone. Also, Harley Quinn and Anna Jay might be a tag team. Who knows? These two women, really, Harley Quinn wants to replicate and be somebody that she's not. That just tell you about Harley Quinn and how she reacts. So Harley Quinn getting themselves ready and stuff. Well, the Hurt Syndicate came out there. Bobby Lashley, MVP, and Shelton Benjamin. Told you yesterday, a couple of days ago, Shelton Benjamin put Hulk Hogan on blast, and Hulk Hogan said Benjamin Shelton. Shelton Benjamin told Hulk Hogan about himself. Well, Bobby Lashley and MVP and Shelton came out there wanting to see what MJF was going to do for this week, one of his shenanigans. MJF came out there, turned around, and came out there looking like a bad, you know what? And he attacked um Air Flight, beat them up. MJF maybe getting Bobby Lashley's respect of hurting people, but he did. But that could be the case. That could be the mantra of hurting people. But Bobby Lashley still didn't say well he was going to accept MJF or not. MJF looking to pick a fight, and he did pick a fight tonight. MJF did pick one with Will Ospreay, telling Will Ospreay that he wants Will Ospreay to win that match, so Will Ospreay can win the championship all in, so he can take back his BBB back. He wants his belt back. He wants to take away from Ospreay. That could be signal a rivalry, but Will Ospreay also signaling himself in a rivalry with Heyman Page. Like I said, either one could win it, but like I said, you never know. But when we do predict the outcome for AEW Double or Nothing, that's when I'll make it clear. It's kind of like both men have the momentum like Warrior and Hogan. So I'm gonna have that be. Well, the Young Bucks had a closed door meeting with Moxley. You don't know what that closed door mean. The EVPs could be doing some shady business and stuff. That could be the case. The EVPs getting themselves together. We'll talk about a little bit later on in the show right here. The EVPs doing their book. Right, this is AEW. I'm surprised they didn't have the former WWE champion Cody Rhodes in it. It's kind of weird right there, but they probably if they're gonna have to make mention of it because Cody is one of the founding fathers of AEW. So the Young Bucks had a closed door meeting with the Death Riders. We don't know what that means about, but we'll get to it a little bit. Speaking of the Bucks was in action tonight. The Bucks was in a 6-man tag team match with Ricochet to take on Swerve, Mark Briscoe, and and then other name Speedball Mike Bailey. But the Young Bucks found the way to win. The Young Bucks, along with Ricochet, winning. The Young Bucks doing what they need to do tonight to get the victory. So with the Bucks and stuff, you can tell Ricochet. The Bucks rolled up. One of the Bucks rolled up. Swerve and defeated Swerve. 1, 2, 3. Well, we get to this right here. A legend where we see right here Nick Wayne set to defend his Ring of Honor Pro Championship against somebody from Christian's past. It was none other than we heard about it. Rhino, the man beast, Rhino, former ECW champion, made his appearance in AEW. Rhino defeated, right? Well, Rhino didn't defeat, but Nick Wayne defeated Rhino to put Rhino over. Rhino got a standing ovation in Detroit. And Rhino came out there, Rhino doing what he did tonight, and Rhino, I remember Rhino, his Rhino days doing what he did. Rhino lost to Nick Wayne, but Christian didn't want to get the belt, and there's still some jealousy harbor between Christian and Nick Wayne. All that jealousy is going to be harboring anytime soon, but we'll see. Well, the AEW Women's Championship was on the line. Eliminator, as we see Tony Storm, the Timeless One, defending her title against Thunder Rosa, Jamie, Penelope Ford, and Anna Jay in a fatal four-way. Which one of these ladies was going to retain? Was going to get the AEW Women's Championship? Was Tony Storm with the Timeless One? Was she was going to retain a championship and move on to see who she's going to meet at All In coming up? But Tony Storm did not hesitate tonight, and Tony Storm got the job done tonight. And Tony Storm hit that timeless, the TCM choke on Penelope Ford to get the win. And Tony Storm, the timeless one, retained her championship. Tony Storm knows a thing to do about retaining titles, and that's what Tony Storm did tonight. Tony Storm did so tonight, retaining her championship the way she did tonight. So Tony Storm with the timeless one. Well, speaking of championships, who's going to be next in line to meet Tony Storm? Well, Jamie Hayter wants to be that woman, be next in line. But Jamie Hayter had a sit-down interview with Renee Paquette. Jamie Hayter gave insights on what she wants to do to Mercedes Moné, saying Mercedes Moné, she wants to know who the true, real Mercedes Moné is. She doesn't want this cookie color Mercedes Moné. Mercedes Moné didn't hold back. She attacked Jamie Hayter from behind, even led to the stage where both women were beating the crap out of each other. Mercedes Moné wants to send a message, and she sent a message. That's why I was telling Jamie Hayter, watch your back. Jamie thought she had feeding off Mercedes, but that just wasn't enough. Jamie Hayter got attacked from behind by Mercedes. Mercedes holding the cup, thinking that she's gonna be the one that be next in line for a shot at the AEW Women's Championship in Tony Storm. That's the question that she wants to know. She pulled out tonight. Also, too, Kevin Knight went against Continental Champion Okada. Kevin Knight earned himself a shot at a Continental Championship, a future title match. Well, Kevin Knight thought so. It just wasn't enough. It just wasn't enough tonight. Okada won. Kevin Knight got attacked from behind by Roosh. Roosh attacked Kevin Hart and left Kevin Knight laying. Okada still holding his goal once again for Okada and company and what Okada did tonight. A lot of matches, even Tony Storm won her match tonight we talked about. Well, we get to the main event. The main event was Samoa Joe going against um Cesaro. Samoa Joe doing work and defeated Cesaro with the Kakia clutch. Samoa Joe keeps his championship intact, and when Samoa Joe keeps it intact, we know next week Samoa Joe will go against Moxley, and with the help of Powerhouse Samoa Joe right here, using the Kakia clutch to get the one to make Cesaro tap out. So we know Samoa Joe will get a shot at the championship next week. Can Samoa Joe do it? That's the only question. Samoa Joe has the momentum, and Samoa Joe next week will go against Mox for the world championship inside of a 15-foot solid steel cage. We'll see that match next week on Dynamite. So, hey, we'll keep an eye on that because Samoa Joe has Mox's number. Mox is really, it could be in trouble and lose the championship on his way. So we'll see how that's going to be. Well, that ends the AW Dynamite Ring Report. Let's move forward. Let's move forward right now to Wrestling Hot Topics. On Wrestling Hot Topics, we talk about this. We talk about this. Sabrina Carpenter. You may know who she is, the singer. She had went to the Met Gala this week, and a lot of people are saying she's her dress is similar, her outfit is similar to former WWE champion Gunther. Gunther looks kind of similar to me, but Sabrina Carpenter dressing like Gunther. The wrestling internet, the IWCQ community had a field day with that. But speaking of that, Velveteen Dream calling out his fans to tell them like, hey, blow up Shawn Michaels and Triple H's messages to have him back. Velveteen Dream said he has the better physique, the better promo, and he is really back in shape. He wants to get back out there and work. And I don't blame Velveteen Dream. I mean, Velveteen Dream had all those qualities. Going back out there, and I mean, who knows? WWE may hire him, may not. Who knows what's going on? But Velveteen Dream trying to put it out there in the universe that he wants to come back to WWE and trying to get the fans to rally behind him. So hey, we'll see. Well, speaking of this, we're hearing that EJ Nadella was released from AEW last week. But they said rumors now saying the word was that AEW had hard to put EJ to anyone without him outstanding physical to them. Outshining what? Without him outshining them physically. That's just wrong. But it's also one scene go about like a physically huge talent. I mean, EJ Madunaka is in shape, good in phenomenal shape. In AEW, they can push Swerve, they can push him, but they just says right there, it's politics, and if you're in the right corner, right, you know what place, you're good to go. But EJ Madonna, who knows? He can probably go back to WWE. You never know. With EJ. What we hear right here, Pete Dunne announcing that the birth of his second child, Pete Dunne and his wife. Pete Dunne, trying to get back. Pete Dunne trying to get back in shape. So Pete Dunne, looking in phenomenal shape. He's coming to say he's returning back to Raw soon. Now, there's another rumor report that Ronda Rousey, the former WWE Women's Champion and UFC Women's Champ, could be making her return back to WWE. WWE really interested in bring her back. And they probably need to do is bring them back when appropriate time. Saying that Ronda didn't like the Vince McMahon regime and the way the Vince was treated her and stuff. He said likely Shayna Baszler, who recently was released, could be coming back as a package deal with Ronda. So, never know where that's going to go, but we'll keep an eye on that. Also, too, they're talking about AEW talking about releasing a book, saying this book is all elite. It's inside store of AEW. I guess AEW. I mean, if you're gonna talk about it all, you're gonna have to talk about all with about Cody and all them. But let's see if they're gonna bring that up. We'll see if they're gonna bring it up. We'll see. We'll keep a close eye on it and see however that's gonna go, how that's gonna be. Like we said next week on Dynamite, we said next week the World Championship is on the line as Samoa Joe set to challenge Jon Moxley for the title. You know, Jon Moxley wants to retain his dominance and put a reign of terror in AEW with Samoa Joe away from his clutches of the World Championship. But that'll happen next week on Dynamite. So we're gonna leave you with Samoa Joe with his hand raised, knowing next week he gets a shot at the World Championship against Jon Moxley. We'll get to see that coming up. Thank you for watching this edition of the Pro Wrestling Show presents the AEW Dynamite Ring Report. I've been your host, Kid Your Dick, saying so long. We'll see you next week for the AEW Dynamite Repeat, but we'll continue on Friday for the SmackDown Report for the Backlash weekend, where we do the SmackDown Ring Report as well as predict the outcome for Backlash and the Backlash review. So we'll see you this weekend for the Pro Wrestling Show for the Backlash review. See you later.